What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Kay's Ways. Thanks for tuning in today's video. Hope everybody's doing well out there. I am off of work today, so I am doing lovely. It is Friday, and I thought I would play in some makeup. So this is what the outcome is of the makeup look that I did. Guys, there's lots of first impressions in this video, so if you want to know all about the new products that I put on my face, then definitely keep watching. Alright guys, so right now I already have my brows done, and I used some Old Faithful products, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dark Brown. Now I had some struggle brows today, so don't mind my brows, whatever, if they look crazy, but my dip brow has dried up now, so it was kind of difficult to do my brows, so I went ahead and added the ColourPop brow pencil just to clean them up. But the matte concealer palette, now you can't say I didn't get my money's worth for this palette. I used the correctors, I always use the two shades at the top to sculpt out my brows, so I went ahead and did that. And I actually did some color correcting with that same palette around my mouth and underneath my eyes. Best job, but I did set all of that with my Laura Mercier. No, that's not Laura Mercier, that's RCMA powder. I just used the Laura Mercier's container. So we're going to get into the first impressions now, and the foundations that I'm going to use are not new to me. I've used both of these foundations many a times. I like them both separately, so today I want to mix them and see what they do. This is the Black Opal True Color Pore Perfecting Liquid Foundation, and as you can see, I've been using this a lot lately, so I really like this one, and I'm in the shade Hazelnut. And also a Old Faithful, which is pretty much done, so I want to go ahead and finish this up. This is the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation, and my shade is in Macao, which is a little light for me, so if I mix the two, then, you know, it'll do wonders. But where the first impressions comes in will be this brush. It's the Real Techniques Base Instapot Face Brush. You may have seen me recently haul this in my Ulta haul during one haul of a weekend. I want to use this to actually apply the foundation, so really soft the brush is off of first impression. Not plush soft, but it has nice density to it as well, so I think this is going to be nice for foundation. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix those two together and go ahead and apply this foundation all over my face. It fits really nice and sweets really nice underneath. It's not like smooth. I think it's a good size brush to cover all the area around your brows without actually messing them up, so that's pretty cool. So that's the foundation applied. I don't know, I think I had to go over it quite a bit, but that Black Opal foundation is kind of thick. I don't know if I would use this brush for that, because they say that you can use this with powder products too. So I'm just going to take my Sephora powder here and try to set my face with this powder and see how I like that application. I think it picks up quite a bit of powder. Like, I was able to powder my whole face. I just wanted to go over it a little bit more, but I think it picked up a nice amount of powder. I actually like it better with powder, or maybe too big to contour with, but it's a good powder brush. I think it did a good job at setting the foundation more than actually applying it. And I'm going to get into my eyes closer, and I'm taking this Smashbox. Oh, it was part of that holiday collection, the Drawn In and Decked Out collection, but this is the Cover Shot Blaze eye palette, and it's a full-size eye palette, one that they sold as an individual. The full set is $39, and this individually is $29. So for 10 more, you're getting 3 palettes for the price of 1.5, basically, right? With that, I'm going to take this Morphe M441, and the first shade I want to go into is this orangey type brown. Go in with into my crease with that. It didn't take a lot to build it up. I went in twice. If the shade names match up, then this shade is Throwback, which is that burgundy-ish shade right there. And I actually want to bring that color into my inner and outer corner, actually, giving that halo effect. This one I want to build up just a little bit more, so this is my third time dipping in. I'm going to take a Real Techniques Deluxe Concealer Brush, which reminds me of their Deluxe Crease Brush. Less dense. I always thought the crease brush was like too tight, so this one is a little bit less dense. So I'm going to use this and go around those shades to blend those together. Just going around those edges. Make sure it's nice and faded out. I'm taking the Morphe E22 and I'm just going to go around the edges with that first initial shade. So far I'm not seeing too much fallout from these matte shades either. Now I want to deepen up this look, so I'm going to take this deep shade here, which is called Siesta, with my M562, which is a nice pointed little blending brush, which I think is perfect to get into those tight little spaces. Definitely need to build up this shade here, but it's like an almost black brown, right? I think it's really nice and dark once you build it up. And then I'm also going to concentrate that right in the crease, so that it gives that separation of where my crease is actually at, because as you know I do have little hooded lids, so this just helps me to carve it out. I really like this brush for that reason. And then I'm going to do the same to the inner corner, just build up the same brown shade. That would be my Sleek eyeshadow palette. I have yet to put these on my eyes, but I have been dying to. It comes with a big mirror up there, but these are the beautiful shades within that palette. Actually, I'm going to go in with that purple shade first. And I'm trying to be really precise, which is why I'm using such a small brush. I want to keep everything underneath the crease that I created. To do that, that's why I start there and just do swipe down at first, so I know where I want my eyeshadow to be placed. That kind of helps me guide my eyeshadow, and then I just build from there, going back and forth. Okay, it's not the best pigment, but it's not bad. I can actually see that it's purple, so I ain't mad at that, because a lot of times purple eyeshadows you can't even tell it's supposed to be purple. It's not bad, and like I said, if I sprayed my brush, it'll probably look better. And it's funny that they have these sponge applicator tips in here, because I'm going to actually use that to apply my Stila Magnificent Metal Glitter and Glow. And these do have their own applicator, but again, I want to be a little bit more precise than that. I'm going to just take it here on the sponge tip applicator that they gave. And we're going to throw this on top of that purple. Oh, way more creamy actually. I'm going to take the Bronze Colors Torpedo Kohl eyeshadow liner. And it's a dark blue. But they also are so creamy that they'll snap on you. So you got to be really careful. And to set that eyeliner that I just put down, I'm going to take my Morphe E36. And I'm actually going to take the two blues from the Sleek palette. So I'm going to go in the inner portion with this lighter blue, and then the outer portion with the darker blue. And there's even a navy blue. So maybe I'll ombre all three of those. So I'm going to start off actually with the navy blue, because it's the darkest of the three. And I want to go right up against that color. I'm going to take this Morphe M169, and I'm going to go in and mix these two blues. And put that into the inner corner, just to brighten it up a little bit. Then I'm just going to go back in with that Smashbox palette and take that terracotta orangey brown shade here. And I want to just blend out these shades underneath. I don't find these eyeshadows, they swatch really good, but I don't find them to be so pigmented. You do have to build them up for sure. Now, as you saw, I decluttered out a lot of stuff out of my makeup collection, and I totally forgot that I had the Tarte Shape Tape concealer that everybody loves. So I have mine in the shade Deep, and I'm going to go ahead and test this out for the first time. Now, I heard this concealer is really, really potent, so I'm not going to use a lot at first. That's a thick old wand that it has there. And I do have some fallout that I tried to sweep away from the glitter, but doesn't look like I got all of it. So I'm just going to clean up under the eyes with this, and then just add a little bit of that concealer. So it's creamy, pretty thick, this concealer. So let's go ahead and blend it out and see how this goes. I'm scared. Now, I'm not seeing the hype that everybody's showing this concealer. Honestly, you guys know I've been using the ColourPop concealer, and that is bae. Like, I need like 4 of those, and these are like $6. Now, this concealer is anywhere between $25 and $30, and I'm not wowed by it the way everybody's talking about it. I don't know, that could be just me, I don't know. It blended up quickly, but I'm going to add just a tad bit more. I don't find that it did that much coverage, as you can see above my lip. And it's heavily fragranted. Why don't I ever hear nobody talk about that? The fragrance on this Tarte Shape Tape is like kind of overpowering. It blends out really nicely. And with that second layer, I find that it covered a little bit more. Now my cover, yeah, I'm going to keep talking about that ColourPop concealer because I'm telling you, it's only $6. And I don't even have to color correct or anything. If you're looking for a concealer though, definitely go for that ColourPop concealer. And I know I still owe you guys the video of swatches of them. I shouldn't have bought that glitter liner all the way out. I should have just left it stay there. But you live and you learn. And now I'm just going to take the other side of that sponge and go around it just to blend the two together. And I want to blend out the rest of my face because my face kind of dried up because I had left and came back, but I already did my foundation, as you guys know. Powder, anything, I'm going to take that same Sephora powder with the same brush we had before, and I'm just going to go over it very, very lightly with that powder. I want to take the Instapot cheek brush from Real Techniques. And for contouring, I've used this before, but I've never used it on camera, so it's kind of like a first impression to you guys. This is the Pure Camo Contour, and it's a dual-ended foundation stick in deep. So one is the lighter side, which I'm not going to bother too much with that one, but we're going to use this deeper shade here. And I'm going to use this to carve out my cheekbones. This Instapot cheek brush, it also has that same kind of slant, and I'm going to focus this product more towards the tips, because I'm going to use it upside down and have it blend out that way. So that is the product, and we're going to go in and stamp that on. I really like the shade of this Pure Cosmetics stick. And this brush is not bad for it, actually. I'm actually going to take my Becca bronzer because it adds a little bit of luminosity. This is the Sunlit bronzer, and it's in the shade I Panama Sun. So I'm just going to take that bronzer with that same brush while I set that powder. Yeah, I like these Real Technique brushes better with powder. Y'all probably just missed me applying my blush, but I'm using the Juvia's Place Saharan 2 blush palette, and I went, and you guys have seen me use this combo before, is B and Sola, and I think that mixed pretty good with the highlight that I had applied on. Alright guys, so that was that real quick. I just want to run down the products that I used. Now these Real Technique brushes, these Instapot brushes, they definitely work better with powder products than they do with like creams and liquids and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a new powder brush, I do like the way this one applies. Even the cheek brush, I like the way it applies as well and stuff. So I'm not mad at them, but I just wish they had a little bit more of a multi-use with each brush. The Sleek Makeup Eyeshadow Palette. Now the blues, I should have waited to go underneath my blues after I did my concealer, because I feel like they basically blended into each other, and I didn't go back into it at the end. So the purple shade, it didn't go on hella pigmented as I wanted it to, but I think these palettes run you about $16. So if you're looking for something that has plenty of color, and again, like I said, if I would have wet my brush and applied it, I'm pretty sure it would have gave more of an impact, but being that I put glitter on top anyway, it just didn't make sense for me to do that. But I do like those Stila glitters. The only thing about those Stila glitters is that it does give a lot of fallout. The Tarte Shape Tape kind of surprised me because I thought I would have liked it a little bit more. You guys know I'm a junkie when it comes to concealers, and I would have to say my ColourPop concealer is actually better than this Tarte Shape Tape. Like, it looks really pretty on the camera as I'm seeing right now. It doesn't look bad at all. In person, I mean, it looks, the shade I don't think is as much as the highlighting shade, so that could be what's throwing me off as well. It's a nice neutral looking shade. I did have to put 2 different layers to apply it to get the application coverage that I wanted. So, you know, it is kind of expensive. Like I said, stick with the ColourPop concealers. Now, these highlighters, let me tell you, the formula of these Sleek highlighters. Now, I normally just use the powder products. I'm not going to front. So the formula of them are really, really nice. As you can see, that highlight is like blended into my skin and it looks so nice. This may not be my favorite shade. You guys know I live for the Cleopatra Kiss. It's here in my top drawer with the rest of my highlighters. Absolutely love that palette. But this one, it came out really nice as well. I think this highlight is really, really pretty. And it look, you know, it came together with the look that I have on. And again, I don't know if I mentioned, but the one that I used is in the shade Solstice. The Morphe gel liner, it's in the shade Slate, and that could, I don't know if Slate is supposed to be their black. I don't find it to be so dark, so that's why I went over it with the glitter. I really wasn't that, you know, impressed by it, I should say. The Smashbox eyeshadow palette, I actually thought it would be a little bit more pigmented than it is. But I still think that the shades blended out really nicely and they blend really well together. I like the way that my eyeshadow did end up coming out. So I'm really not mad at it. I think everything came together really, really well. And I'm not sure in the video if I mentioned this is the NARS Power Matte Lipstick in the shade London Calling. So those are one of my favorites right now. And I think that's pretty much all of the first impressions that I took you guys through. If not, you guys just saw it, so you know how I feel about it. But thanks for tuning into today's video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. So definitely subscribe if you're not already. I would love to have you here for the next video. And until next time, beauties, later. See, we like to keep it on the